Every man has a hidden price. For some, it is attention. For some, it is love. For some, it is approval. For some, it is status. For some, it is the fear of being alone. And the moment someone finds your price, they no longer need to defeat you. They only need to pull the right emotional string. That is how most people are controlled. Not by force, not by intelligence, not by power, but by the one thing they cannot afford to lose. Number 1, find your hidden price. The first rule of power is not learning how to control others. It is discovering what can control you. Most people never ask this question. They ask, why did they treat me that way? They ask, why did I react like that? They ask, why do I keep going back? Wrong question. The real question is this: what is my hidden price? What can make me abandon my standards? What can make me ignore red flags? What can make me explain too much, chase too hard, tolerate disrespect, or betray myself? That answer is your weakness until you face it. Maybe your hidden price is attention. Someone gives you a little attention, and suddenly your discipline disappears. You become available. You reply fast. You lower your standards because your ego finally feels fed. Maybe your hidden price is fear of being alone. One person leaves, and your whole identity collapses. You go back to people who already showed you who they are because silence feels worse than disrespect. Maybe your hidden price is being understood. Someone misjudges you, and you cannot sleep until you explain every detail. You write long messages. You defend your heart to people who were never interested in understanding it. Maybe your hidden price is status. You need to look important. You need people to notice. You need to be seen as successful, so you make choices for applause, not power. Here is the brutal truth. Intelligence does not protect you from emotional blind spots. Self-awareness does. You can be smart in business and stupid in love. You can be disciplined in the gym and desperate in relationships. You can be respected at work and still become a child when someone withholds affection. That is because your hidden price does not care about your resume. It lives deeper. Machiavelli wrote that men are driven by love and fear. That is still the core of human behavior. When another person learns which one controls you, they have a map of your weakness. Imagine a man who says he values self-respect. Then an ex sends one message: I miss you. Suddenly, all his standards disappear. He forgets the lies, forgets the disrespect, forgets the nights he promised himself he would never go back. Why? Because his hidden price was not love. It was being wanted. That is a dangerous price. The second you feel ignored, you chase. The second you feel someone pulling away, you beg. The second you feel disrespected, you explode. The second someone goes silent, your mind starts creating stories. And you call it love. You call it honesty. You call it passion. No, it is emotional dependence. And emotional dependence is the cleanest handle another person can use to move you. Another man says he does not care what people think. Then someone criticizes him publicly and he loses control. He raises his voice. He defends himself too much. He makes himself look smaller, trying to prove he is strong. His hidden price was not respect. It was image. People will find these buttons if you do not find them first. They will notice what makes you anxious. They will notice what makes you chase. They will notice what makes you defensive. They will notice what makes you soften your boundaries. Every reaction teaches them something. That is why a powerful person studies himself like a battlefield. He does not ask, how do I dominate the room? He asks, what in this room can move me? That question changes everything. Weak people hide from their emotional weaknesses. Strategic people name them. Weak people pretend nothing affects them. Strategic people know exactly what affects them. So it cannot control them blindly. Weak people say, that is just how I am. Strategic people say, that is the door I must guard. Your hidden price does not disappear because you ignore it. It becomes stronger in the dark. The weakness you refuse to name becomes the leash someone else will hold. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I know my price, and I do not sell myself. Number 2, stop letting neediness expose you. Neediness is not asking for help. Neediness is when your emotional stability depends on someone outside of you. That is where most people lose power. Someone does not text back. You check your phone, then check again. Then imagine 5 stories. Maybe they are mad. Maybe they lost interest. Maybe you said something wrong. Maybe they are with someone else. Nothing has happened, but your mind has already built a prison. That is emotional dependence. It fills empty space with fear. Now compare that to a grounded person. They notice the silence. They feel the uncertainty, but they do not worship it. They continue their day. If the reply comes, fine. If it does not, life keeps moving. That is not because they care less. It is because their center is not outside their body. Here is what people never admit. Neediness leaks. You do not need to announce it. Your behavior says it first. You reply too fast because you fear losing attention. You apologize when you did nothing wrong because you fear conflict. You keep conversations alive after they have already died because silence scares you. You accept less than you deserve because being chosen feels better than being alone. Each small action sends the same message. I need this more than you do. And once that message is clear, the balance changes. People rarely respect desperation, not because everyone is evil, because human nature reads desperation as instability. Calm feels valuable, neediness feels available. And what is too available is rarely respected. Imagine 2 men in the same situation. Both are dating someone who keeps acting distant. The first man panics. He sends long messages. He asks what changed. He apologizes for imaginary mistakes. He offers more effort to someone giving less. The second man observes. He does not attack. He does not beg. He simply matches reality. Less effort coming in, less effort goes out. Confusion coming in, distance goes out. Disrespect coming in, access ends. Who has more power? The second man. Not because he is cold, because he did not let fear negotiate his standards. Now comes the dangerous part. Some of you are addicted to reassurance. You do not want love. You want proof every few hours that you have not been abandoned. That is not connection. That is emotional hunger. And hungry people make bad decisions. They eat whatever is offered, even crumbs. A powerful person builds a life that remains standing when one person walks away. He has work, he has purpose, he has discipline, he has health, he has solitude, he has standards, he has a future bigger than one person's attention. That is why he does not collapse when someone leaves. He can care deeply. He can love honestly. He can feel disappointment. But he does not let disappointment become self-betrayal. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That is not a cute quote. That is survival instruction. You cannot control who replies. You cannot control who stays. You cannot control who chooses you. But you can control whether their choice becomes your identity. The old version needs constant proof. The new standard builds inner security. The old version sees silence as rejection. The new standard sees silence as information. The old version asks, how do I make them want me? The new standard asks, why am I trying to convince someone? The more you need someone to choose you, the easier you become to control. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My peace does not depend on a reply. Number 3, never beg for what should be given freely. Begging is not always falling to your knees. Sometimes begging looks polite. Sometimes it looks patient. Sometimes it looks mature. Sometimes it looks like a long message written at 1 a.m. to someone who already knows exactly how they hurt you. Begging is any moment where you lower your self-respect to purchase someone else's approval. You beg when you over-explain your value. You beg when you keep proving your loyalty to someone who keeps questioning it. You beg when you accept disrespect because you fear losing the connection. You beg when you keep asking for basic effort from someone who clearly has the ability to give it, but not the willingness. That is the part that destroys people. They confuse inability with unwillingness. They say, maybe they do not know how to love. No, sometimes they know. They just do not choose it with you. And when you beg, you teach them that your dignity is negotiable. Imagine a closed door. One man knocks once, no answer. He waits, still no answer. So he turns around and leaves. Another man keeps knocking. Then he explains why he deserves to come in. Then he apologizes for knocking too loudly. Then he promises he will be better if the door opens. Then he sits outside the door, calling that loyalty. Who looks more powerful? The man who left, because he valued himself more than access. Machiavelli said, "He who builds on the people builds on mud." Apply that to approval. If your worth is built on someone else's response, your foundation is mud. It shifts, it sinks, it cannot hold weight. Respect cannot be begged into existence. Read that again. Respect cannot be begged into existence. You cannot convince someone to value you by lowering your value. You cannot make someone respect your presence by proving you are afraid to leave. You cannot create love by destroying your own dignity. And yet people do it every day. They beg in relationships. They beg in friendships. They beg at work. They beg for attention, beg for closure, beg for recognition, beg for someone to finally see what they bring. But power does not come from being seen by the wrong people. Power comes from refusing to perform for them. Here's what most people never notice. When you beg, you are not showing love. You are showing fear. Fear that nothing better will come. Fear that you are not enough. Fear that leaving will hurt too much. Fear that if this person does not choose you, nobody will. That fear makes you small. A powerful person can ask once, clearly, calmly, directly. But after the answer is shown through action, he stops negotiating with reality. He does not keep sacrificing pieces of himself hoping the answer changes. He accepts what is. Acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is clarity, and clarity saves energy. Abraham Lincoln carried rejection, failure, public criticism, and enormous pressure. But the strength in his leadership came from endurance, without begging the world to approve of him every minute. He did not need every person to understand him before he acted. He held position. That is what dignity looks like, not loud, not dramatic, not desperate, just firm. Weak people keep asking, why won't they choose me? Strong people ask, why am I still choosing a place where I have to beg? Weak people confuse pain with love. Strong people know pain is sometimes the cost of recovering self-respect. Weak people would rather lose themselves than lose someone. Strong people know losing yourself is the highest price. Losing someone hurts. Losing your dignity changes you. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I never beg for basic respect. Number 4. Stop chasing what refuses to choose you. Chasing looks like effort from the outside, but many times it is fear wearing running shoes. People chase attention, chase approval, chase love, chase closure, chase people who keep stepping backward. And the more they chase, the smaller they become. Because chasing trains your mind to believe the valuable thing is always outside of you, over there, in their hands, in their reply, in their approval, in their decision. So your attention leaves your own life and starts orbiting someone else. That is how you abandon yourself slowly. Not all at once, slowly. You stop asking what you want. You ask what will keep them. You stop asking what you believe. You ask what they will approve. You stop asking whether they are good for you. You ask how to become good enough for them. That is not love. That is identity erosion. There is a difference between persistence and chasing. Persistence means staying committed to your values and goals. Chasing means abandoning your values because you fear losing attention. One builds character, the other dissolves it. Imagine a man building a business. He works when it is hard. He keeps showing up. He learns. He adapts. He stays committed. That is persistence. Now imagine a man texting someone who keeps ignoring him. He sends more, explains more, offers more, waits more, excuses more. That is not persistence. That is self-abandonment. The powerful understand the difference. They invest where energy is returned. They appreciate people who appreciate them. They do not force doors that only open when they are useful. They watch patterns, not promises. Because words are cheap, patterns are expensive. A person can say, "I care," but do they show up? A person can say, "I respect you," but do they protect your dignity when it costs them comfort? Number 5, become emotionally unpredictable. Manipulation does not begin when someone lies to you. It begins when someone learns your pattern. They know silence makes you anxious, so they go silent. They know guilt makes you say yes, so they make you feel selfish. They know criticism makes you defensive, so they attack your image. They know affection makes you forget standards, so they give you just enough warmth to keep you attached. This is how people move you without touching you. That is not personality. That is programming. And the first step to freedom is breaking the pattern. A powerful person creates space between feeling and response. That space is everything. Someone disrespects him. He feels anger, but he does not instantly hand anger the microphone. Someone criticizes him. He feels the sting, but he does not rush into defense. Someone pulls away. He feels uncertainty, but he does not chase for relief. He pauses, observes, then chooses. That small delay destroys manipulation, because manipulators depend on reflex. They need you fast, fast to react, fast to explain, fast to apologize, fast to panic, fast to comply. When you slow down, their control weakens. Here is something you must remember. An emotional trigger is not a command. Feeling anger does not mean you must speak. Feeling fear does not mean you must run. Feeling guilt does not mean you did something wrong. Feeling desire does not mean something is good for you. Emotions are signals, not masters. This is emotional maturity, not pretending you feel nothing, not becoming cold. Imagine someone tries to provoke you in a meeting. They make a sharp comment. Everyone feels the tension. The old version reacts. He snaps. Now the room remembers his instability more than the insult. The controlled man does something else. He pauses, looks at the person, then says calmly, "Say that again clearly." Now the pressure moves. The person who tried to provoke him must own their words. That is composure. No screaming, no begging, no performance, just control. Number 6, stay calm under pressure. Pressure does not create your character, it reveals your training. That is why people collapse in moments they claimed they were ready for. A harsh comment, a rejection, a betrayal, a delay, a public challenge, a message left unanswered. Suddenly, the mask falls. The calm person becomes reckless. The confident person becomes needy. The disciplined person becomes impulsive. The person who said they knew their worth starts begging for someone to confirm it. Pressure exposes what you practiced. If you practiced reacting, you will react. If you practiced chasing, you will chase. If you practiced over-explaining, you will explain. If you practice self-command, you will pause. Think of a lake during a storm. When the water is moving, you cannot see the bottom. That is your mind under emotional pressure. Everything looks distorted. Small problems look permanent. Temporary pain feels like destiny. One unanswered message feels like abandonment. One criticism feels like humiliation. One bad day feels like a broken life. Then time passes. The water settles. Suddenly the same situation looks different. Nothing outside changed. Your mind cleared. That is why powerful people delay major decisions when emotions are loud. They know intense emotion can lie. Not always, but often enough to be dangerous. Now comes the dangerous part. Some people around you do not want answers. They want access to your emotions. They provoke you because your reaction feeds them. They disrespect you because they want to see whether they can move you. They create drama because your chaos gives them importance. They know if they can disturb your peace, they can occupy your mind. So ask yourself, is this moment worth giving away my peace? Most of the time, the answer is no. Not every insult deserves a reaction. Not every opinion deserves a defense. Not every disappointment deserves a battle. Not every person deserves emotional access. Strategic silence is not avoidance, it is protection. It protects your words from regret. It protects your energy from parasites. It protects your dignity from being dragged into small games. Number 7. Build a life that cannot be used against you. The strongest people are not emotionless, they are rooted. That is the difference. A weak person builds life on fragile foundations. One person's attention, one relationship, one source of validation, one public image, one identity that depends on being chosen. So when that thing shakes, they shake. When it leaves, they collapse. When it threatens to disappear, they panic. Machiavelli said, "Whoever becomes the cause of another's power ruins himself." Apply that to your inner world. If another person becomes the source of your peace, then your peace belongs to them. That is dangerous. Anything you believe you cannot live without gains power over you. A powerful life has roots, purpose, health, discipline, money habits, solitude, skill, friendships with standards, a mission bigger than one emotional attachment. When these roots are strong, one person leaving hurts, but it does not destroy you. A rejection stings, but it does not define you. A betrayal teaches, but it does not empty you. A disappointment slows you, but it does not own you. This is what it means to build a life that cannot be used against you. This video was never about becoming cold. It was never about pushing people away. It was never about pretending nothing hurts. Pain is human. Disappointment is human. Love is human. But losing yourself for any of it is weakness. You learned 7 principles. Find your hidden price. Stop letting neediness expose you. Never beg for what should be given freely. Stop chasing what refuses to choose you. Become emotionally unpredictable. Stay calm under pressure. Build a life that cannot be used against you. This is not motivation. This is identity replacement. The old identity chased. The new identity observes. The old identity begged. The new identity walks away. The old identity reacted. The new identity chooses. The old identity needed approval. The new identity has standards. The old identity let emotions become handles. The new identity cuts every handle off. Machiavelli's deepest lesson was not that you must control everyone. It was that you must stop being easy to control. Because once your emotions belong to someone else, your freedom belongs to them too. So stop chasing people who keep moving away. Stop begging to be valued by people who benefit from your self-doubt. Stop exploding for people who only wanted proof they could move you. Stop giving your peace to situations that never deserved access to it. Like this video if you are done being emotionally controlled. Subscribe for more. Share this. And drop this final affirmation in the comments. I control myself. Remember this. Never chase. Never beg. Never break. The world can test you, but it no longer owns the button.